definitely do.
Of course I have it. It's right here.
You always got it.
Yes, I always got it.
Oh, baby, she's got it.
Is she your Venus?
She's on fire.
It's what you desire.
I desire.
I should probably not use my phone, use my iPad.
That's a good idea.
It is a good idea. I'm glad I thought of it. Thank you.
Can't argue with that.
I mean, you can argue with anything.
Yeah,
if you really wanted to.
It's true.
I'm getting a sleep.
Okay, bye.
Alright.
I made it a couple hours later this time.
Okay.
Are we live?
I don't know, are we?
I don't know. Are we? I didn't change anything, did I? No? Streamed 6 days ago.
No.
Doesn't say, I'm not on my phone either. Weird. Okay. Streaming. You should be streaming. Good. It's green. Come on. There it goes.
There we go.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
Oh, now people miss our bit.
Change the
Yeah, I changed it.
episode name.
I did.
83?
Yeah.
That's this week? I thought 83. 83 was the title I used for last week. I think it's 84 this week.
Yeah, it is 84 this week.
Okay.
Okay, so it's 84 this week. Alright, let's Hootsuite this thing.
Hootsuite.
Get nut jobs ready.
Are you gonna have the chat up?
Kristen's not there.
Okay.
She's at a concert.
Then we'll be fine.
She's seeing Peter Frampton.
You can't... Wait, really? Does he have the voice box?
That's what it says. Frampton in the background.
Yeah. Okay.
Eric Clapton, right?
Yeah. Peter Clapton. Wait, no. Eric Frampton.
Eric Frampton and Peter Clapton.
Peter Frampton's long lost brother.
Yep.
Eric. Huh?
We're all the rage. Or so I say.
All the rage.
We're all the rage.
We're just terrible.
Not some, but all.
We're just mean all the time. We're all the rage. That's what it is. We have all the rage.
But all of the rage.
We have the meats.
Alright. Send now. You're sending it. We're good.
We're sending it.
It's posting. Yeah. She's watching Peter Frampton.
Peter Frampton.
Yep. We're all the rage. Not some, but all the rage.
All of it.
All of the rage.
All of it. We've got every rage here.
Just like Arby's, we've got the rage.
Wait, freaking babysitters are charging $12 an hour now?
We are all... What?
I know, that's what I said. What?
Who? No.
$12 an hour babysitting?
Are you looking for a babysitter?
No.
You're looking for a babysitter job?
I was gonna say, with that rate, I'd
Are you looking for a babysitter club?
I know of the Babysitters Club.
Are you a part of the Babysitters Club?
No, but my sister was.
Yeah.
Let's hit record on this dang there podcast.
Alright.
Let's get this ball rolling. We have some things to talk about.
Rolling balls.
Welcome. Hi. We're live.
Hello.
Live
from the couch in... Where should I say where we're
couch
at?
in our living room.
This is the Media Boat Podcast.
Media Boat Podcast. This is a podcast that talks about the media. Not like the news media, but like specifically movies, television, music, and video games.
This is the real media, too.
Not necessarily in that order, but we do talk about all of those
This
things.
is real media, not that fake media.
Yeah, all real news here
Yes,
on the Media
we don't
Boat
deal
Podcast.
in rumors. We deal in cold hard cash.
Yes.
And facts.
So send us envelopes full of money. Don't actually do that.
Or send it, or you can become a Patreon at Patreon Media Boat. Look it up. Something.
Yeah, but we'll get to that at the end of the show. For now, let's start the show like we always start the show. Let's talk about
ourselves. I'm Mike. He's Matt.
Well, yes, I'm Matt. He's Mike. But also, what we talk about at the top of the show every time, always, is the box office.
Always.
So what do we got box office for the last weekend? This past
let's put
weekend
some
here.
Box office.
What was our number one movie?
Number one movie was, by a slim margin, The Dark Tower.
So yes, it's Stephen King's, Idris Elba's The Dark Tower.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
I would say that it did badly, but if you look at everybody this week, this was the slowest week of the summer yet.
Yeah.
So nobody saw movies.
Not really, but also this thing was number one by 19 million. Compare that to number two, Dunkirk, at 17 million.
Yeah.
So only 2 million difference, separated 1 and 2 this weekend.
It was a narrow gap.
Yep.
That being said, that's still a win for Sony. But
if you want to call it that.
But it's only scratching the surface of that budget. That's a $60 million budget. They're only halfway there. So we'll see.
Do you even know where halfway is on that thing? Halfway is 30 million. It made 19 million.
I mean, worldwide.
Oh, yeah, we're worldwide.
Right now, it's sitting at about 30. That's what I'm talking about. So, ultimately, given another week, it'll crawl and maybe make its money back, but we'll see.
No. It'll maybe make budget.
Yeah.
In order to make money, it's got to go budget plus 50.
Right. So, that's not going to happen.
No.
Well, Dark Tower will be at another failed experiment over at the Sony camp.
Yep.
Speaking of failed experiments for Sony, let's go over the rest of this top five.
Yep. Number two was Dunkirk with 17 million, a 35% drop from last week, but it hit 133 million.
Yeah.
So, yep, that thing's good. Good job, Christopher Nolan. Got another hit on your hands.
Yeah.
Number three was the Emoji Movie with 12 million.
Yeah.
51% drop, 49 million total on a 50 budget.
So that's not going to get close either.
No. That won't get close to turning a profit.
No.
It may break even in total overall.
Yeah.
But that's only because it had a 50 budget.
Right.
It's cheap to make. Number four was Girls Trip with 11 million, a 42% drop from last week.
And that, on the other side, is making a lot of money.
Yeah, that thing's got 85 million on a 19 million budget.
Yeah.
That thing's in the black.
Yeah.
And then lastly, we have Kidnap.
Right,
and
the
number
Halle
five.
Berry, trust us, this isn't Taken.
And trust me, this isn't that phone call movie
Yeah. So,
that she did.
I guess here's our opportunity. So you've seen The Dark Tower. Do you want to talk about The Dark Tower?
Yes. If you want to read all my thoughts on The Dark Tower, go to our website, MediaBoatPodcast.com.
This is true.
Where you can check out our thoughts on The Dark Tower, as well as Detroit. I saw Detroit also. Put that up as well.
Right. Did not chart this week. But yes, that is also
It did get
out.
a wider release. However, it didn't chart. It still only came in 6th. I think we still had 1,000 plus increase in ticket sales.
Okay.
Because it went wide.
Well, we can talk about Detroit as well, but let's talk about Dark Tower first.
Ooh, Dark Tower. Where do I begin with you? Let's start with the casting.
Okay.
Idris Elba is a total yes. Great call.
Yeah.
Then there's like a huge gap for like the level of like star power that they bring to this thing, and then there's like Matthew McConaughey, and then just falls off from there to basically, I guess if you want to call him a star, Jackie Earle Haley.
Sure. At this point, why not?
I mean, at this point, he's a character actor. You see him in the background a lot.
Yeah.
He's always a supporting character, but he didn't really have that much to play in this thing, and I was disappointed.
Yeah.
When I saw him come up, I was like, "Ooh, you should be good. You're a badass."
But
it didn't really turn out that way. Yeah, then everything just falls off from there. So, in terms of casting this thing, in terms of writing it, super meh.
Okay. is it bad? Define super meh.
So Dark Tower is written by Stephen King. Stephen King's written a lot of horror stuff. This is mainly his venture into
this was more his fantasy
sci-fi
stuff, right?
fantasy.
Yeah.
He shouldn't. I don't want to give Dark Tower a bad name because I know it's a really good book series, but dang,
it seems like the internet consensus seems to be the first 4 books in the series are really good.
Okay.
But when you get 5, 6, 7, apparently things start to drag.
All right.
And from what I understand is the movie suffers from the classic problem of adapting a work, which is that you just don't have time to explain everything.
Yes, that was a huge thing.
Yeah.
They tried to explain a lot of it, but Idris Elba doesn't give good backstory.
Yeah.
He's not a good expositionist. He's no Morgan Freeman when it comes to these things.
Sure, but let's give credit to the actual screenwriters here, because I don't think Stephen King was involved.
Yes, apparently Stephen King was not involved, nor was he even consulted on this movie.
And it probably shows.
Yeah, it shows a lot.
So, I mean, is it any fun? Should people see this if they need something to kill some time? Like, how bad is it? Like, is it you should not see this movie, or is it just they could have done a lot better?
The story could have been a lot better, and the CGI could have been a lot less.
Okay.
I don't know if that clears up anything.
So Sony hasn't learned anything from Ghostbusters?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's disappointing. Oh, well.
Yeah. It's... Well, not only that, but it feels like they seem to be following Warner Brothers with over CGI, like Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Wonder Woman.
Well, that's the thing, though, is because there was a lot of potential going into this thing.
Yeah.
And it feels like it kind of fell by the wayside as they tried to Hollywoodize it.
And it could have easily been a franchise for them if they hadn't screwed it up.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's disappointing.
It's a super disappointing movie. That being said, check it out on HBO.
That's a wait
Netflix.
for home release.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Stephen King fan, go ahead and buy the Blu-ray version. But it's not something that you'd want to see in your collection.
We should have a go see it.
Go see it.
Like, we need 3 things. So we have, like, the bottom is wait for streaming. So let's just shorten that to streaming.
Yeah.
Then we need a middle tier, and then, of course, the top tier is go see it.
Oh, so it's a go see it.
Oh, dollar theater. There it is.
And wait for streaming.
Okay, so
dollar theater.
That's what we should do from now on with our movies. I think it's just to determine which one it is.
Oh, this is wait for streaming.
Go see it. Dollar theater. Wait for streaming.
This is
definitely a wait for streaming.
Yes.
All right.
Well, compared to Dunkirk, which was a go see it.
Okay, let's talk about Detroit. It sounds like it is not a wait to stream movie, but we'll wait, of course, till the end. Tell me about Detroit.
Detroit's an interesting movie.
I mean, the state. I mean, the state.
The state of Detroit?
The
state of Detroit is constant panic.
Thank you. You turned that around. You turned my mistake around.
I know what kind of mistake you're trying to make.
It. I mean, the city of Detroit, but sure. Tell me about the movie Detroit, directed by none other than The Hurt Locker's Catherine Bigelow.
Yes, and former wife of James Cameron.
Sure.
That's right.
We can go there, but
yeah,
also she is a director.
No, she's a very competent director.
Yes.
Isn't she award-winning too?
She, did she win the Oscar?
I don't remember if she won.
She was nominated.
Right.
I believe she did.
I know Hurt Locker won.
For Hurt Locker.
I believe so. I know Hurt Locker won for best. Did it win for best movie? Oh, that's the artist.
Hurt Locker lost best picture. I think she got.
I think she got the director on it though.
I think she did.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it was Jer or whatever the artist guy. I don't think he won.
Jer Dubardin.
I could no. The guy who directed it. I couldn't. I could totally be wrong.
Yeah. We could be off by a couple of years.
Not that it matters that whether she won or lost an Oscar. What matters is she made some good movies. I liked both The Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30.
Right. If you like, so let me put it this way: if you like those 2 movies, you'll like Detroit.
Okay, so let's talk about Detroit.
Alright, so what Catherine Bigelow does good, or does well, is that she puts a lot of dramatic tension into what doesn't seem like very dramatic
Sure.
roles.
Good at ratcheting it up.
Yes. She's good at giving you all of that mustard, all that umph, and all that emotional drama
Give me all that
comes with
mustard.
it
Hold the mayo.
without...
Give me all that mustard.
She makes everything seem big and confluential? Influential. Influential conflict.
Sure.
I just combined those words. And it's really well done, and it holds your attention.
Influential.
Confluential.
Okay.
That being said,
Uh-huh.
this movie's not very high action. There's a lot of drama and there's a lot of build-up, but I also feel like the payoff isn't there. But that could also be because it's based off a true story of what happened at the Algiers Hotel in July 22nd, 1976.
Right.
It's based off a true story.
Yeah.
But because there were no cameras, this story is based off of eyewitness testimony, stuff that was said in court, stuff that was said in books,
Right.
and other multimedia outlets. You know, like interviews, press conferences, stuff like that. So they had to piece together this story and basically build off of that. That being said, the story doesn't really get going until about 30 minutes into the movie. So
Sure.
there's this huge opening gap where you're basically wondering where's this going? Where's my main characters? Is there anyone I'm supposed to root for? Which I guess the answer ends up being yes and no. Because while you're still rooting for survival, there's still this part of, well, you guys are just in a bad situation. An unfortunate situation,
Sure.
you could say. So, by that statement, it adds that's where your drama comes from. It's just people in unfortunate situations and some people just being straight up assholes. And racism is just purely up front in this thing. Like I said, it's in the 1960s. It's just racism is just right up in your face everywhere you turn in this film. There's no going around it. That being said, I like the way that this film doesn't end.
Sure.
Where you think it's going to end, it actually doesn't, and continues on, and it gives you the aftermath and shows you that things like this don't just immediately end. All of a sudden, everything's better. That it goes on and on and on, and sometimes it doesn't give you an end.
Yeah. So that seemed to work tonally.
Yeah, tonally it worked, especially given the circumstances of what this movie is about.
Yeah,
the things
definitely.
going on. So, by everything I said, it's definitely a good movie. But it's not something that I would necessarily recommend you go see on a Friday night.
So the problem, it sounds like what you're getting at here is that this is a movie released in summer, but it is in no way a summer movie.
Yes.
So this set feels more like something that should have come out in November.
Yeah. While Dunkirk is something, I don't know, I keep comparing Dunkirk because it's a new release.
Right.
But while that's a movie that came out in the summer but has a summer blockbuster feel.
Sure.
This movie doesn't have that feel, but because they're on the summer.
Because they're two different things. I mean, if you consider as much critical acclaim that as Christopher Nolan gets, let's be real, let's be serious about something. He still makes popcorn movies.
Yes.
You know, Inception and Interstellar, sure, they had a little bit of the
high
artsy
concept
pretense to it. They had the fancy cinematography, but at the same time, those are high concept versions of a blockbuster.
Yes.
Both of them are. And sounds like so is Dunkirk.
Yes.
It's a high concept blockbuster. Whereas Detroit is very much in the same vein of Hurt Locker.
It's a reeled-in personal story.
Historical drama.
Yeah.
It knows what it is. It's not trying to be bombastic. It's not trying to be something it's not. So, do you think that they made a poor choice releasing it now? I really think that they might.
They might have, but then again, this is Annapurna Pictures.
Sure.
So they've put out some really good stuff recently. I mean, granted, last year they put out Ex Machina at the exact same time.
You know what it reminds me of release-wise? A couple of award cycles now ago, Joy. starring.
But wasn't that a late release?
So no, it wasn't.
Yeah, that's starring.
It was starring Jennifer Lawrence.
Yes.
It was like beginning of the year, like February or March or something.
Okay.
Yeah, and I remember it being super shocked when Jennifer Lawrence got the actress nom anyways at the end of the year. Because I thought there was no way. I thought that everybody was going to forget that movie it was ever made. But Annapurna.
Yeah.
So I guess that they can lobby when they need to. That being said, I feel for Catherine Bigelow kind of having her, tentpole movie kind of coming out at the wrong time, outside of award season, outside of when people are talking about that kind of film.
Yeah. Because had this thing come out in January,
yeah,
you could definitely get Oscar buzz behind it easily.
And but this thing it got buried marketing wise too. Mm-hmm. I didn't start seeing regular ads for this thing until the day before it came out.
And even then, the ads don't really tell you what it is, except Detroit. I mean, like, going into it, I didn't even know that it was about the 1960s.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
No. Or 70s.
Yeah, 70s, yeah.
But yeah, still, it's like there's no clear... there was no clear marketing about what this was, and it didn't do
and
a whole
I
lot.
also think that's going to have trouble finding an audience outside of indie films.
People who are already predisposed to go seek it out.
Right.
So, it's disappointing in that way, but it sounds like it's a good movie. So, what does this rate on the scale?
Dollar theater. I mean, it's not a rush out and go see it, but definitely give it a chance.
Put it on your checklist for the year?
Yeah, give it a chance.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of the better movies made this year.
Okay, good. I'm glad she's still got it. I just wish it had come out in a more prime time slot.
Yeah, in a more optimal situation for people to go see this movie.
Yeah, it's a pity.
Yeah, because by the time this thing hits Blu-ray, it'll be December.
That is true. So, what do we got this week?
All right, so so that gives us goes into movie stories.
Actually, not quite. It runs into new releases.
Oh yeah, new releases.
We need to talk about next week's race.
All right. So first up, we have our first horror movie coming up here.
You mean first in a while?
Yes.
Because I'm sure that they never really stop these days.
You're right.
So successful.
Yes, because we got the Emoji Movie.
the most horrendous of them all.
Yes. Why you subject somebody to that kind of torture, I don't know.
I don't know, but in fact, people take their kids to see that. I mean, ugh.
So first up, we have Annabelle Creation.
Is this a sequel to that movie Annabelle?
Yes, which is a spin-off of The Conjuring.
Because it's all about the creepy doll.
Yes, creepy doll.
Creepy
doll being creepy yet again.
Yep.
And then we also have The Nut Job 2, Nutty by Nature.
Oh.
This is your kids' movie for the weekend.
Well, kids' movie.
Why?
Quote.
Because Nutty by Nature?
With the name The Nut Job.
Yeah?
You never know.
Okay. And then lastly, we have The Glass Castle.
Okay.
This is your indie art house movie starring Brie Larson and Woody Harrelson.
Okay.
And by all intents and purposes, it looks good. It's interesting. It's about a group of kids who their dad constantly moved around, so he had to homeschool them.
Okay.
And then when they grow up, their dad gets sick, and some of them decide to come back, some of them not, because they either resent him from living that kind of life and not really getting a full life experience as kids, or they accept it because they now are successful because of said results.
Okay.
So it's an interesting concept.
Sure.
I think it's based off a book. I'm pretty sure it's based off a book. I'm going to go with that. It's based off a book.
Yeah. It's
called The Glass Castle. Check it out.
Not to be confused with The Castle of Glass, which is completely different.
Right, that's a song by Linkin Park.
Two different things.
Yes.
And don't throw rocks at it. Right?
Well, no, it's stones.
Stones.
Yes,
Same
stones. Don't throw them at them or while you're inside.
Okay, say, what do you think is our number one next week?
I'm going to go with the horror movie over the kids movie.
I think you're right.
I think that it's been a while since we've had a horror movie.
It's been a while.
I think that The Conjuring itself is a well-established franchise at this point. I think Annabelle did well, if I remember correctly,
And
last time.
also, we probably don't think Dark Tower is going to
Hold over. No.
hold over.
One, that thing won't hold over. And two, The Nut Job 2, Nighty by Nature, is such an offbeat title that...
It has no chance. It's also distributed by such a small company. That's a frickin', nothing movie. It's a nothing movie. Won't do anything.
Yep.
Okay, so that's your next week. Let's roll right
so
into...
we're going to go with Annabelle then?
Yeah, let's go with Annabelle. We
Alright.
don't need a number.
We don't need a
We
number.
don't care.
Alright, let's move on.
It's going to be another slow week, so get ready.
Yep.
But what isn't slow is our news, and what isn't slow is Baby Driver. Why is Baby Driver in our news this week?
Because he's not slow.
He's not slow.
Is he slow?
No.
No. Want to make a remix of that?
think been there, done that.
Is he slow?
So tell me about Baby Driver.
Baby Driver apparently not slow because it went a little too fast for some taste
Okay.
in terms of getting its music.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I heard about this.
So Baby Driver is coming into a lawsuit from Roland Feld, son of T-Rex band frontman Mark Bolan, for use of their song Deborah.
Right, which is a plot point in that movie.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a problem. It sounded like something you could easily replace in that movie.
I mean, to be fair, it's not as... That song specifically is not as, let's say, focused on as most of the soundtrack is in that movie.
Right.
It is something that is kind of just tossed in there as a reference. That being said, you need to have clearance for that movie, for that song, for that thing to work, for that bit in the movie to work.
Yeah.
So I'm actually kind of surprised by this, considering that Edgar Wright on Twitter made it a point to thank the guy on the team who was responsible for clearing all the music.
Well, let me get to that part.
Okay.
Alright, so Sony Pictures failed to clear the use of this song. So 3 years ago, Roland won a lawsuit that gave him the rights to 144 works by leveraging an old rule vesting rights to an author's heirs when the author dies to the initial copyright term.
Got it.
So the defendants, in this case Sony, failed to obtain or even seek the permission of the composition's U.S. copyright holder, Roland Feld.
They didn't know he had it.
Because they didn't know he had it.
Got it.
And in the 6 weeks since, Feld brought this infringement to defendant Sony's attention. They've done little more than point fingers at one another and have neither apologized nor offered to pay Feld a reasonable licensing fee.
Ugh.
A representative of Sony Music contacted Feld's lawyer requesting a license for the movie's soundtrack, but promptly informed Sony that the use of the composition in Baby Driver was unauthorized, and Sony has now ceased communications. This was after the movie had already came out.
Right.
Feld is seeking disgorgement of profits and punitive damages, and is also demanding an order that Sony be permanently enjoined from engaging in improper exploitation. Not sure what that means.
I think that's a fancy way of saying that they need to write in their build into their system about how they clear music.
Yeah.
To include the rule about this because apparently they were unaware it existed.
Right, because even though someone may own the rights to the song,
they need to find
out who owns the actual
They need to follow the paper
right
trail up until 2017, not right before, because it sounded like they maybe didn't get that far.
Well, because this is the thing though, that Edgar Wright said and talked in one interview that even before the movie was at Sony, he had quietly started clearing the tracks.
Sure.
Which is probably where it initially started. Like, hey, this company owns the rights, so we're going to ask them for the rights, not knowing that maybe 3 or 5 months later they're going to lose a lawsuit for said song.
So
because stuff like that doesn't really make the moves. Doesn't really make the news.
No, and also it usually doesn't move that fast. I mean, we have a lot of the stories that we've had here on this very podcast about music rights are stuff that's been owned by the same people for 20, 30 years.
Right.
And that's why we report on it, because it's big news that music moves at all.
Yeah.
So something like this is not super common. That being said, I think at this point, Sony should just settle with the dude.
Oh, yeah.
Because just give him some money. Just say, hey, we're sorry. This was kind of out of our control. Basically, the people who did the clearing did their jobs. It was just there was this extra thing they didn't know about. And I think that there's no harm, no foul. Just throw some money at him at this point. Because it's just easier not to deal with it.
Right, because it feels like they're going to lose this in the court case anyway.
Yeah, and even if they do or they don't, it's still like they could avoid even having this go to trial.
Yeah.
Just settle with them.
I mean, Baby Driver's already made money for them.
Right.
Just settle.
Baby Driver did pretty well. It's their one shining spot of this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they need to just get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yep.
Well, not cool for that guy.
Well, no, not cool for that guy, but
he'll get his money.
Yeah.
He'll get
speaking of not cool guys.
Okay.
That is Suge Knight.
That's Suge Knight, yeah.
He's definitely not a cool guy.
Not lately, especially. So, yes, tell me about Mr. Knight.
Well, Mr. Knight is... They just had some trouble with the law recently, with the L.A. County law, you could say.
I mean, the story of his life, but yes, also recently.
Yeah. So, he's actually been indicted yet again.
Mm-hmm.
Knight was arraigned in an L.A. courtroom last Thursday for threatening the director of Straight Outta Compton, F. Gary Gray.
Yeah.
He was allegedly unhappy with his portrayal in the film and threatened Gray via text messages in August of 2014. He is currently awaiting trial for the murder in connection with a hit-and-run that saw Knight pull up to a Compton burger stand in January 2015 and then fled after a brief conflict, running over and killing Terry Carter and injuring Claiborne Sloan.
Yeah.
So while he was already on the stand for that, he's going to be already pushed back into the courtroom for his threats against the director. And yet he says that he was wrongly portrayed in the film as being like a bully.
You know, it's tough being famous, I'm sure. But yeah, there's no excuse.
Yeah.
He's messed up a lot of times. I think it's a little unfair for him to be like on trial for literal murder, and then for him to be like trying to distract by being like, hey, but he made a movie that told the truth about me.
Yeah, but you also tried to threaten him.
Yeah, it's not a good look at all.
No, he's just not a good look. We're just throwing that in there.
The poor guy. I mean, it was interesting to see at the end of that the Dr. Dre Jimmy Iovine
the Defiant ones.
The Defiant ones. The literal one of the last things on that thing they talk about is freaking Suge Knight running over that guy.
Yeah,
and it's just Dr. Dre's being like, man, we were all doing so well. And then he has to go back and do this stuff. I thought we were done with this stuff. It's like if Dr. Dre is saying that about you, that's a bad look. So yeah, hopefully. Man, I don't even know at this point with that guy.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Let's talk about someone good.
Who's that?
That is Jon Favreau.
Oh, okay.
Reason he's up here is because he's getting an award. He's being honored by the
Victoria's Secret.
No, VES.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Victoria's Extra Secret.
That's the back of the store that they don't show you. It's behind the velvet rope.
Yes, where they show you the back.
Yeah.
And the front
of the store.
Yeah. Jon Favreau will be the next recipient of the Visual Effects Society Lifetime Achievement Award in recognition for his valuable contributions to filmed entertainment.
Filmed entertainment.
Specifically filmed entertainment.
Yes.
This comes after just after last year's film, The Jungle Book,
Right.
which won 5 awards
That was
at
2 years ago.
at VES Awards.
Wasn't it?
No,
No.
that was last year.
This has
That
been
was March of last year.
This has been literally the longest year ever.
Summer has somehow slowed down.
I don't understand. Anyways. So yes, Jungle Book, because yes, he made
Yeah.
some strides.
Well, yeah.
At least he
Jungle Book
spearheaded.
won the top honor for best photoreal feature at the VES Awards.
Let's pause for a second here. I don't want to give Jon Favreau a whole lot of credit here. Obviously, the effects
Company.
were from the talented animators and modelers who
Right.
worked on the actual visual effects in the Jungle Book. I just want to make clear that I, here at the Media Boat Podcast, do not necessarily want to just credit Jon Favreau and that it was him and his team of animators.
Yes.
Okay, but here, these guys are choosing to credit it.
Right.
Okay.
Other previous winners include James Cameron, Steven Spielberg, George Lucas,
Okay.
Kathleen Kennedy, Frank Marshall, Robert Zemeckis, and others.
So it just sounds like they give credit to the people who give money to make these things happen. Just directors and producers, it seems.
Kind of.
Yeah.
He will be honored February 13th, 2018 at the Beverly Hilton Hotel during the 16th Annual Visual Effects Society Awards.
Cool.
So congratulations, Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Photorealistic. I mean, like
Yeah.
I said, that should be a category in the actual Oscars.
I still don't agree with you there.
We have to differentiate that in animation somehow.
No, we don't. That'll just become animation.
That'll just become animation.
I think all of the animation will just be... You know, see, the thing, a good example, a good metaphor here, or I guess comparison, not really a metaphor, is video games. So, video game websites used to have, when they did like end of the year awards, they used to have to break down 3D and 2D games into different categories. Because people thought that, oh, well, we can't just say best graphics, because best graphics could be a 3D game and a 2D game, and they're so wildly different.
Right.
So what a lot of websites started to do instead was, what about just best visuals? Like, what about... And then that just further kept evolving. So ultimately what we're getting to is a point where we don't need to differentiate between types of animation anymore. We can just say what is the highest quality or what is the best looking of all these different styles. And yes, you do have to have conversations about, are we giving this for best looking or are we giving this for like best like technology involved? You do have to have that conversation. But I think that ultimately anything separating the two categories is really splitting hairs. Because I think one person can make... If you make a solid enough argument for The Jungle Book is more impressive than Moana, then I'll listen. But I don't think that those two things should be in different categories. That's my opinion.
Well, you have your opinion. Let's move on to our final story
Okay.
of the movie cycle here.
Okay.
That there is Thomas Schlammy.
Schlammy?
Schlammy.
Tommy Salami.
Yeah, so Thomas Salami is was elected the new president of the Directors Guild of America
Okay.
for a 2-year term. Shalami has been on the DGA National Board since 2005 and was most recently the 3rd vice president. Also on that list, Jon Favreau as the 5th vice president.
What do you know?
Yeah. He's best known as a TV director and won 9 Emmys and 3 DGA awards when he teamed up with Aaron Sorkin for directing and executive producing The West Wing, Sports Night, and Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip.
Okay.
He also has hands in ER, Friends, Spin City, Parenthood, and Murder in the First.
Huh.
So
Cool.
he's down
So
here,
he's been around.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been around. The president.
game.
the president, it gets a 2-year term, and they have to be elected after that. So far, most presidents have only had 2-year terms. No one has ever done 3.
Oh, cool. Okay, good for him.
Yeah.
All right, then that rolls us right in to the bits.
Real quickly on the bits.
Bits.
The first image of Josh Brolin as Cable in Deadpool 2 is out now.
Yeah.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, looks
Not
alright.
gonna lie, it looks pretty good. All right. We also Chris Pratt's got another summer vehicle coming in 2019. It is none other than Cowboy Ninja Viking.
Yep, Cowboy Ninja Viking.
Which role he'll be playing, I am not sure.
I thought it was like that this was a continuation of that Doritos bit with Puppy Monkey Baby, but maybe it's not.
Or I thought it was going to be Cowboys vs. Aliens continuation, but apparently
God,
not.
no. Forgot about that.
The Last Jedi has exclusive images via Entertainment Weekly. So if you want to get your Star Wars fix, pick up a copy of Entertainment Weekly or just go online.
Well, heads up, spoiler. If you do look at those pictures, there's one spoiler I'm not even going to even start because I would give it away just by describing what is spoilery about the pictures, but there is a spoiler in those pictures.
Wait, which one?
We'll talk after the podcast.
I saw the pictures. I don't know which one's spoilery.
We'll talk after the podcast, but yes.
Alright.
There's a spoiler. It's, a super obvious spoiler, and it's like a duh moment, but still.
Right.
Some people are more sensitive than others.
Alright. Well, with that, let's move on to television.
Yes, let's.
And we don't have any sports news for you.
But, besides the fact this is week 1 of the football preseason.
Yeah, but we mentioned that last week.
But it's happening now.
Okay.
The first episode of Hard Knocks.
Yeah, Hard Knocks is out. And also, for those of you who do care, the Little League World Series has started.
Yeah.
So
if
you want to head over to Williamsport, Virginia, or
do I?
Just check out it on your ESPN app
So
or
cool.
streaming service.
Yeah, something like that. Oh yeah, but what do we do have in television?
All right, what we do have is news of LeVar Burton.
Okay. Wait, what?
LeVar Burton.
Yeah, Reading Rainbow. Got it.
Yes, Reading Rainbow guy. Well, he's being sued
Okay.
by Reading Rainbow.
Wait, what? Seriously?
Yes.
Take a look. It's in a book. Give us money.
But you have to take my word for it.
Okay. Local library.
Yes.
Right,
Reading
so-
Rainbow,
what's up with this?
owned by WNED TV Buffalo, is suing Burton for the continued use of the tagline, but you don't have to take my word for it, as he continuously uses it on his podcast, LeVar Burton Reads.
Oh, no. Okay. Is that a trademarked phrase?
That's what's in question.
Okay.
So the suit is the most recent legal news between Burton and the broadcaster, where Burton's company RR Kids had previously obtained a licensing agreement from WNED, which subsequently claimed the former host breached their deal by allegedly attempting to, among other things, produce a Reading Rainbow revival for Netflix without WNED's involvement.
Right.
The lawsuit reads that Mr. Burton's goal is to control and reap the benefits of Reading Rainbow's substantial goodwill. Goodwill that unquestionably belongs to WNED. The suit alleges copyright infringement, conversion, cybersquatting, violations of the Lanham Act, breach of contract, and interference with customer relations, and seeks profits from LeVar Burton Reads, which is described on the podcast as itself as Reading Rainbow for adults. But you don't have to take my word for it.
Oh, man. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny that is the phrase being argued about because it's very fitting here.
Yes.
Because you can kind of see on both sides that they both have pretty strong arguments.
Right.
Like, it sucks, yes, to be the television station that originally aired the program that made your star so famous and became such a cult classic, only to see that cult classic kind of become beyond you after a while.
Right.
And owned by the star as opposed to the original network. I get it. And I understand why they would be suing for goodwill and all that stuff.
Mhm.
That being said, I can also understand from LeVar Burton's point of view that he basically owns that thing at this point. He owns the public consciousness of it.
Right, from what I was understanding, that he acquired either the rights or was in agreement with the company because he did that whole Kickstarter campaign.
It seems like he was at least trying to do his due diligence about doing it legally.
Yes.
He at least made an effort, him and his team, to make it so that this didn't happen. But again, though, I can see how they feel that like they're out of the loop here because they kind of are.
Yeah.
He's basically trying to wrest this thing from their cold, dead hands.
Right, but then again, WMD's not really doing anything with the property.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is that they're just sitting on it, but ultimately they'd rather they want money from it, is what this sounds like.
Yeah.
They want their piece of the pie if Reading Rainbow is going to continue existing in the public consciousness.
And so anything that LeVar does, they're going to continue to say that they own anything that has to do with or involvement with Reading Rainbow.
Like, I mean, this podcast, it's funny that we keep doing this, these legal cases, because it's like, I feel like we become armchair lawyers here.
Yes.
But it's like, but at the same time, it's like, I just want to just be like, come on, LeVar, just cut him. Cut him in on the deal. Like, cut him in on your profit from whatever this Kickstarted version of Reading Rainbow is, and maybe they'll be happy with it. Just tell them that they'll be involved, whether it just be like a little bit of the profits, and then this is over.
Right, and then cut us in on the profits then, because we giving you this legal advice.
Care of Media Boat Podcast. Anyways.
Just email us at mediaboatpodcast@gmail.com and we'll give you where you can send that check.
Yep. Check or money order.
Preferably cash.
Or just cold hard cash.
Just show up at our doorstep. Just
drop off the suitcase.
Yeah.
Walk away. We'll know what to do.
We'll know how to spend money better than you. Okay? I mean, no.
LeVar Burton, you know how to get to us.
Yes.
Anyways, what else do we got?
Yep. We got probably the biggest news coming out of today.
Yeah.
Disney.
Well, actually, it was yesterday.
Well, yeah.
I was a little slow on the uptake.
That's fine. Anyways, Disney making some streaming moves, and what could,
or at least planning
to make
some streaming moves.
And this could be good or bad.
Okay, so here's the deal. If you recall, not even a year ago, Disney made a deal with Netflix for first-run streaming for their content. This included major stuff. Both their movies, Walt Disney Pictures movies,
Pixar,
Marvel movies,
Pixar
movies,
and Star Wars
movies. So basically everything that matters in the Disney canon was going to be first-run streaming on Netflix exclusively.
Which is surprising because just last month, that deal, we saw the big chunk of that deal come in the form of Rogue One being available on Netflix.
Yeah. So we've had, and it's been a great 2017 because of it. Pretty much every major Disney release has already it's shown its face on Netflix. You have Rogue One, you have Moana,
you have Zootopia,
The
Jungle Book,
Civil War,
you
name it. Any major like blockbuster Disney release,
Doctor Strange,
the last year has
already
I
watch Doctor Strange again. That's a good movie.
But yeah, so now, yesterday, we have an announcement from CEO Bob Iger that is no longer the plan, or at least it's not the plan after this current contract is up, which is the end of next year.
Next year.
2018. So, from what I read, Disney is going to remove all of their content from streaming services, including Netflix, but not only Netflix. It's important to note here that Hulu also has some Disney content on it as well. Specifically some mid-90s... Well, some Disney XD content, but also mid-90s animated fare like Hercules and Pocahontas were on there for a while.
And other sequels as well.
Yeah, so they will be removing all of their content from streaming services by the end of 2018 calendar year.
Right, and this is because Disney will start its own streaming service beginning in 2019.
which I'm fairly certain we predicted on this very show probably over a year ago, before this Netflix deal was written.
Right. Well, I don't know if we predicted this exactly, but we just said, why don't they just put everything into... Well, they should have just put everything in one. Because Disney is a really huge catalog.
It's a very good idea.
Now, granted, this streaming service is only for Disney movies and Disney TV stuff. There's no word yet on whether it will include Pixar, Marvel, or Lucas.
It will.
But there's no reason it shouldn't.
Yeah, here's my prediction for what this thing is. So you know how colloquially, however you actually say that word, the fans refer to it as the Disney Vault. When things go away, they go into the Disney Vault.
Yes.
But there are things that are not in the Disney Vault, whether it be Blu-ray releases, whether it be things on streaming, for example, and things readily available on television. This streaming service is just that. Except for probably exceptions that they make for example, Diamond or whatever they're at right now, Platinum. I forget what
I think they're at Diamonds.
Blu-ray releases, which are super exclusive. But for the most part, I think they should just use it for anything that is available as it is right now. For example, the catalog, the kind of thing that they have on Netflix, the kind of things they have on Hulu, the kind of things they have on Amazon and on television. Just put all that in one place, slap the Disney brand on it, include it for existing members of D23, include it for Disney, existing members of the Disney, the movie club, whatever they call that thing.
Oh, I'm part of that, actually.
If you already have people who are subscribers to, already paying into things, give it to them as a perk, and then also get new people $10 a month in this thing. And just brand it as your one-stop shop for everything Disney, and then cycle things out, just as Netflix does, and just say, well, this is moving into the Disney Vault. You already have it in your branding to do this.
Right, but here's the thing, though, that the Netflix deal will still be in effect coming past whatever Disney decides to do with this. Because that deal says that that Netflix will see any major release up until including 2019. Meaning that Netflix will still get Avengers Infinity War, Avengers 4, Black Panther, all the Marvel movies in between, as well as the next 2 Star Wars installments, Episode 8, and the Han Solo movie. It will, however, not include Episode 9. Disney will use the streaming service of BAMTech, which is currently used by the MLB streaming platform.
Okay.
And consider that they stream every game live on their website, and that just take into account that one team does 182 games. Multiply that by every team.
Yeah.
So they're pretty well established. Okay, they probably got a pretty good streaming service that way, because hell, everyone's got to watch the game somehow.
Yeah, that's true.
So Disney's actually put a 75% stake in that company by investing $1.5 billion into them.
Yeah.
So safe to say that they're going headstrong into this.
I mean, as they should. One of the things that I wrote in the story that I put up about this on MediaVotePodcast.com today is that it's a no-brainer, really. I mean, they're the biggest media company in the world. Of course they need, or one of them at least.
Yes.
And of course they need to get it. They wanted a piece of this pie. They're probably sitting back and watching Netflix. Regardless of what some recent articles that we will not comment on say, Netflix is super successful.
Yeah.
And so Disney was probably just looking at this as like, sure, yes, we could help them become even bigger.
Also Netflix owns a stake in Hulu.
Yeah.
And they made this deal with Netflix as a way
you said Netflix, but I think you mean Disney.
Yeah, I said Netflix. Yeah, Disney made this deal with Netflix.
No, before that. You said Netflix had a stake in Hulu.
Oh, no, Disney has a stake in Hulu.
That'd be really funny if Netflix had a stake in Hulu.
No, Disney has a stake in Hulu. But
yeah,
the reason why Netflix made the deal with with Disney, rather Disney made the deal with Netflix,
Yeah.
is because they were either one unsure of how to do streaming properly, or just wanted to see if streaming was going to stay and not be a fad.
Yeah, I think it was important at the time because they were hedging their bets.
Right.
Is I think what you're getting at. I think they needed to know that this was viable and how it was viable in what ways and what audiences mattered.
Right, and while they're having these deals go on, they
Yeah.
can collect data on who watches their stuff, how they watch it, how they stream it, how often they stream
Yeah.
it, and like if they do new releases, are they going to get huge numbers in returns?
And my guess is what they found out is yes, and more yes.
Yeah.
Is that the Netflix stuff has probably been super successful for them, especially this first run stuff. And so they want to own it.
Yep.
They want to be the people who get all that revenue.
Because why share the pie? If you're
Exactly.
Disney, why share the pie?
If you're Bob Iger, you want that pie. You want to eat that whole pie. So yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yep.
I'm even shocked that it took them this long to say it. Maybe because they didn't want to lose Netflix as a potential partner.
Right.
Well, right as soon
not
as
only
now.
that, but they're probably checking out different streaming services as to who could provide the best content for them, or the best infrastructure.
I think the only loser here is Netflix. They already suffered a big drop in stock price today.
Yep.
Because of this. So yeah, the only real loser here is, I guess, streaming services that aren't owned by Disney, because they're going to lose out this popular content, because I'm sure Netflix was also quite satisfied with the kind of numbers that the Disney stuff is probably doing.
Well, not only that, but the big winner here is going to be ESPN.
Yeah.
Everything that's going to happen with this deal, ESPN will come out the big winner in this thing, because not only are people not using the ESPN app to watch their stuff, now they have a dedicated streaming service.
You're being very presumptuous here.
No. A lot of people don't use the ESPN Watch app.
No. I'm saying you're being presumptuous to assume that they're going to even touch this thing.
Oh, they are.
Okay.
Disney has said the company Disney will launch the streaming service exclusively for ESPN.
Okay.
Target to launch early next year with the promise of 10,000 live regional, national, and international games and events a year, including individual sports packages as well.
Oh, okay. I didn't see any of this.
Oh, see, I actually read the article.
I did too, but we're probably talking about two different
Probably.
articles. Anyways, yeah, the article I read was very, very short.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But yeah, that's actually maybe the secret bigger deal, because this is finally them doing what we've been shouting at them to do for over a year now.
Yes, is somehow save ESPN.
I think they maybe finally are going to do it. Okay, we've spent a long time on this story, so let's probably wrap this up.
Okay, let's wrap this up by saying that this is going to be great for Disney.
Yeah.
This could be great for us as people.
Yeah.
But it could also be bad for consumers. And the reason I only say this is because if this thing goes as well as Disney wants it to be, expect other big companies to follow, and soon we may have multiple people paying different tier packages for different things.
I mean, yeah, the dark trail this could lead down is having to pay monthly fees for what used to be networks on television.
Right.
What the dark future here is, oh, well, do you have a subscription to Disney? Well, otherwise you can't watch the Disney movie. Oh, do you have a subscription to the Warner Brothers? Well, you can't watch the new Lego movie.
Right.
Or, yeah, stuff like that. That could go get dark really quickly.
Right.
So...
And we may already see this dark path coming, as with our next story.
It would be like cable television if you had to pay $10 a month per channel.
Well, that's the thing, is that with cable, everything was bundled. Like, you got all the Disney channels, or you got all the Scripps networks, you got all the Universal networks. But no. But the reason this is going down dark path is with this next story.
Okay.
CISO.
Oh, yeah. The darkest.
The darkest of timelines.
Literally.
So CISO, owned and operated by NBC Universal, will be selling off 4 of its original contents.
Yeah.
Including
Because it's dying. I
Yes.
think we should get that across here. Because they're killing it.
Yes.
CISO will cease to exist.
Yeah, so the mockumentary Hidden America with Jonah Ray.
Yep. Jonah Ray, also of the Mystery Science Theater reboot.
Yep. The animated series Cyanide and Happiness.
Yep. Based on the webcomic of the same name.
Yep. The role-playing comedy Harmon Quest.
Which we've mentioned on this podcast before. Dan Harmon's D&D podcast with celebrities.
Yep. And Mickey Elroy's brother podcast adaptation, My Brother, and Me.
Right, McElroy's do a lot of content for video game website Polygon, but are mostly famous for their podcasts.
Yep. All four of those shows are being sold to Otter Media. And more specifically, Otter Media's VRV streaming service.
Yeah, that makes sense.
By the way, we have VRV, or we have access to it.
Definitely heard of that. I am aware of that brand.
It's that yellow box when we go to Otter Media.
Definitely aware of that brand. It's good that they found a home.
Yeah. This move comes part of parent NBC Universal to wind down original programming at CISO.
Yeah.
Otter Media, the joint venture between AT&T and Sherman Group, currently also operates Crunchyroll.
Okay, yeah.
That anime series.
That fits.
Streaming service. And VRV streaming through Elation. This will now be a part of the new $9.99 bundle, which will include access to Crunchyroll, Rooster Teeth, Nerdist, and 5 other streaming on-demand services.
Sure.
Plus add-on services for CISO and Shudder.
Okay.
Those are other, basically channels, you could say.
Yeah. That doesn't sound like a bad group of stuff, really, if you're a certain kind of person.
Yeah. That's a good deal for $10.
It's not bad at all, no.
But here comes why they're going to get rid of all that stuff on CISO.
Okay.
NBC Universal is planning on making room on CISO for other NBC-owned properties like SNL, Parks and Rec, 30 Rock, Python Flying Circus, and so on and so forth.
They want to make it a depository place where they can just put old reruns.
Yes.
Got it.
Because right now, the only place you can see stuff like that is what was on Esquire. We know that closed.
And they're killing Esquire, so they needed somewhere to put it.
They're basically condensing all of their outlets for what would have been... what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
Streaming. Not streaming.
Syndication.
Syndication.
Because syndication doesn't barely exist anymore.
Right. Because why syndicate something when you can just put directly online?
Yeah, something you own. Yeah.
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 So they're going to make CISO their syndicated network, essentially.
Yeah, sure.
And kill off everything else that would run them.
I mean, that's basically all Esquire was doing, was just showing Parks and Rec reruns. So...
Yeah. And BattleBots.
And BattleBots. So, yeah. This is, I guess, a potentially good move.
Yeah, but here lies the problem in that if NBCU does this and change CISO to whatever NBC, let's just call it NBC Reruns.
Yeah.
Or NBC Classic, whatever.
NBC Classic.
Where you watch all your classic shows in one place. They just call it NBC Classic. Here comes the problem where you're paying $10 to NBC, $10 to Netflix, $10 to Disney. That's $30 right there going to streaming services. And none of those are live either.
Yeah.
Those are all just streaming. If you want to go live on Hulu even, that's what?
Extra.
$20 a month?
I don't know what that is sitting at. It's probably 20.
Yeah. So there's $50 right there just for entertainment value.
Yeah, but I think we're getting closer and closer where that becomes the norm. I mean, that's still less than cable is.
Right, it's still less than cable.
Still less than cable.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, if other companies start doing this, like Warner Brothers or even like Legendary or whatever.
Yeah.
Turner.
It could get real.
Yeah, you get real big, real costly, real fast. Should they all decide to do this?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, all right.
Next.
Good?
Yep.
All right, that brings us to our last story.
Yep. Okay, that's RuPaul.
Oh, you recognize RuPaul?
Yes, I recognize RuPaul. Okay. Kind of hard not to recognize RuPaul.
Well, I was going to put him in his getup, but...
RuPaul doesn't need no getup.
RuPaul is the getup, and go.
RuPaul is RuPaul. All right, what do you got?
So RuPaul is developing a half-hour dramedy series project with J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot for Hulu.
Okay.
Tentatively titled Queen, it will be a fictionalized version of RuPaul's Rise, from club kid to drag queen, gay icon, and global star.
Okay.
It's being written by Power executive producer Gary Lennon and set in New York City during the 1980s Reagan era.
The Reagan area.
Just that little Reagan area over there. It's not that big.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So it'll be the same format as 11/22/66.
Like a miniseries.
69. Yeah. Miniseries. Unless it's picked up for more series, but yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So look out for that. For those of you who have Hulu, if you want some Reagan in your life.
No, I don't.
Oh,
think Reagan
some RuPaul in your life.
Involved.
No, if you want some RuPaul in your life. All right, that brings us to our cancellations.
Cancellations and renewals.
Yep. So we have Insecure getting a third season at HBO, as well as Ballers getting a fourth season at HBO.
Well, aren't you just pleased as punch?
Oh yeah, Ballers coming back again.
More Ballers. The Rock keeps earning money.
It's Ballers' life.
It is.
We also have David Letterman getting a new talk show comedy series.
Okay.
For Netflix.
Uh-huh.
This will be 6 episodes in 2018. Could potentially be more.
Okay, cool.
We also have Greenleaf getting a third season on Oprah Winfrey Network.
Mm-hmm.
And then ABC has decided to renew the seasons of $100,000 Pyramid, Celebrity Family Feud, and Match Game.
All those games come back.
Yep. They're cheap to make.
Yep. Costs nothing.
Yep. So look for more games from ABC.
Cool.
No word yet on The Gong Show.
Yeah, it seemed like that was more of an event thing than it was a thing that we're going to sustain.
Yeah. We also have Famous in Love gets a second season on Freeform.
Okay.
Will and Grace gets a 10th season.
Right.
This is ahead of its 9th season debut.
Okay, so they already ordered another season of that thing?
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
For NBC.
Okay.
So the upcoming 9th season comeback,
uh-huh.
and then another 10th season on top of that.
Oh, man. They're gonna hate it if it underperforms.
We also have the Netflix series that just premiered, Anne with an E, which is basically Anne of Green Gables.
Right.
That will get a second season.
Okay.
And Snowfall will get a second season on FX.
More drugs.
More drugs being passed around.
Yep.
Now, for our deceased.
Okay.
With us. We have Dick Locher. Or Locher?
Sure.
Locher. 88. The cartoonist for Dick Tracy.
Okay. Oh.
88. Next we have Haruo Nakajima.
Okay.
Age 88. Japanese actor, best known for being in the suit of Godzilla.
Yes, for the first handful of movies.
Yes, he was also in Seven Samurai.
Okay.
We also have Barbara Cook, age 89. Singer-actress starred in The Music Man, Sondheim and Sondheim, and Candide. Then we have two music desks.
Right.
Two big ones.
Yeah.
We have Goldie McJohn, 72, founding member of Steppenwolf.
Mm-hmm.
And Glenn Campbell, age 81, singer and actor, won the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 2012.
The Rhinestone Cowboy himself.
Yep. Also starred in True Grit, the original.
Yes,
True Grit.
The original True Grit. Yeah, that's specifically a sad one because that man's a country legend.
Yeah.
He was the one that you always brought out at the Country Music Awards ceremonies to be like, hey, look, Glenn Campbell's still alive. And now they won't be able to do that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But he influenced, and in fact, it's probably a understatement to say that he influenced a generation of country artists. He probably influenced 3 generations of country artists, let's be real. That's definitely a loss in that community.
Yep.
He will be missed, and his glittery rhinestone outfits.
Was it glittery?
It was very glittery.
Alright. Moving on.
Moving on to
Video games!
Video James.
Yes, Video James. We have a PS4 update coming soon.
We do.
5.0.
Yep. Version 5.
Yep. The upcoming PS4 Pro update exclusive. Exclusive to the PS4 Pro.
Fancy.
Will allow owners to stream via Twitch at 1080p 60 frames per second.
Oh, damn.
For those of you who don't realize, that's big shit. That's big talk. That is streaming up to Twitch. Not streaming rather than watching it. That's streaming your gameplay natively.
Of course.
In 1080 60.
You have to have internet that can handle that.
Yeah.
But if you do, then hey, cool.
I think we do.
We might.
It's been kind of buggy as of like the past couple days.
It goes in and out, but yeah, PlayStation Vue took like frickin' 10 minutes to warm up this morning for me.
Really?
I just had to put the controller down and wait for it to figure it out for it to start playing something.
Huh.
And I was like, this sucks. But I don't know if it was Vue. I think it was they were working on something briefly and messed up with my coverage. But yeah, updates are always fun.
Yep.
That'll be cool.
That's the big one. Other changes include an overhaul of the master and sub account system, the ability to follow
Dirty.
The ability to follow any user.
Okay.
And the addition of notifications on the PS4's quick menu.
Cool.
Basically that sidebar.
Right.
Also. You can already use a PS4 Pro for 1080p remote play and share play. The upcoming update will allow you to follow anyone's account similar to what they do on Xbox One.
Yeah.
And there's no current release date for this 5.0 firmware, but it is expected to be launched in the near future alongside the refreshed PlayStation app.
Oh, yeah, cool.
So when that happens, most
likely hit with it.
Yep.
Cool.
Most likely it will hit within the next month. Other news. We have Valve. Currently, they're running Dota International Championships.
The International 7 is happening right now.
Yep. And because they're running, they decided to tease a new game they've been working on.
Yeah, so there was a mad dash for like 10-20 minutes on the internet between when they said that they were going to announce a new Valve game and when they actually announced that new Valve game. Everybody thought it was like, oh, it's going to be like Left 4 Dead, it's going to be Half-Life, what's it going to be, guys? And what is it? Show me what they got.
They announced an Artifact. Well, the name of the game is Artifact.
And what is Artifact?
Artifact is a Dota 2 card game.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because they're Dota 2 championships.
So it's a collectible card game. Think Hearthstone. Think whatever the hell that Bethesda one is. Elder Scrolls 1.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's them doing that. So if you like collectible card games, digital collectible card games, I should note, like Hearthstone, I guess cool?
Yep. Well, there's some details that came out about it. An article I found. So there will be 3 game boards that represent the lanes. If you know what Dota 2 is and you know what I'm talking about,
yeah,
this is what I'm talking about. If you don't know, this is going to go right over your head.
Okay.
This is going to go right over your head.
Okay, I'm ready. I've got plenty of air above my head. Let's do it.
On and in your head.
Yep.
There will be 3 game boards that represent the lanes. You control 5 heroes, just like in Dota. You can equip item cards onto the heroes that you buy with gold. There are creeps that spawn every turn. You can play creature cards.
And that play Dota.
You can play creature cards. Some cards are cast on the lane and have persistent effects on the lane. Each hero has abilities like their Dota counterpart. And that's all we have. More info will come sometime after the tournament, which is happening this weekend. But
Sure.
that's all they said. That's all they said. They basically want to keep the focus on the tournament for now, and that any more information will come afterwards.
I mean, generally speaking, I feel like you, by hearing that, you probably know whether this is something that you will want to do or something that you will not want to do. So there you go.
And if you were disappointed by that, I feel you.
Yeah. So that's also Valve. That's Valve's Steam logo.
Yeah.
So what's up with Steam?
You remember about a month and a half ago, we mentioned about Steam Direct.
Yeah.
How developers could directly publish their games without by paying a fee, $100 fee, and then not having to go through specifically Valve's, or rather Steam communities like approval and all this other stuff. Well, we got some numbers on that finally.
Okay, give me the numbers.
So, the $100 fee launched. Steam Direct launched about 7 weeks ago. Since its launch, over 1,000 new games, have premiered on Steam over those 7 weeks. 730 of them coming within the last 4 weeks, and 215 of them coming within the last week itself.
Oh, wow.
This is good news for developers getting their games out there in the marketplace, as they no longer have to wait. It's just when you're done,
it just happens.
Direct. It just happens. Great. And because of this, you just see a huge influx of new games, which is great for anyone looking to play new stuff. It's not great if you're a reviewer and all of a sudden you got 1,000 games in a month.
Yeah, but then again, any website that's still trying to review every game is insane.
Yeah.
It's just we're living in a universe where that just isn't possible anymore.
Right. Now we do now need user reviews.
Yeah, user reviews or a combination of user reviews and curated content, maybe more focused sites that are covering a certain kind of game, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's
so it's working, is what it sounds
yeah.
like, which is good news, because I remember thinking that was a good concept when they announced it, and I was hoping that it was going to work, and it seems good so far.
Well, not only that, but that's basically $100,000 influx of money just straight to Valve. So it'd be working.
That's good.
All right, good decision, deal.
Good.
All right, now let's talk about what we all want to talk about. Winter Olympics.
Yes.
Still happening.
They are still happening next year.
Yes. But what we're going to talk about now is esports in the Olympics. Ooh, yes. So, as we announced last week, and while it's still technically unconfirmed until next month when the IOC meets in Lima, Peru to officially award the games, Paris is going to be the next city host.
Yeah.
In 2024.
Right.
That being said, Paris is considering esports joining the 2024 program.
Okay, I'm going to stop you real quick. I want to put italics. I want to make considering italicized, because I want to emphasize that this is not likely, number one, and number two, don't get too excited. Okay, continue.
All right. So, Tony Estanguet.
Okay.
Let's call it Tony. Mr. Tony.
Mr. Tony.
Co-president of the Paris Olympic Bid Committee, has told the Associated Press that he will hold talks with esports representatives and the International Olympic Committee. It will already become a full sport by the 2022 edition of the Olympic Asian Games, as we previously covered.
Right, as we covered.
But those are the Asian Games,
yeah,
not the International Olympic Games.
Right, so that only is a segment of what counts.
Right. Tony believes that a contest of digital prowess should be considered a legitimate sport if the Olympics is to maintain its relevance for new generations of fans. Quote, I don't want to say no from the beginning, but I think it's interesting to interact with the IOC, with them, the esports family, to better understand what the process is and why it is such a success.
Yeah.
So, they're having talks within the next year.
Right.
About whether or not to consider it for their programming. Now, they could still, like what the Asian Games did, is have an exhibition for it and say, hey, this may work, and see how that goes. But as for it being an official event of the program, they need to make a decision on that with all the rules by 2019.
Yeah.
If it's going to be on the program. Which means 2018 is going to become a huge year for esports.
Yeah.
Not only in terms of tournaments going around the world, including Overwatch and Dota 2 and everything else. Or, what was it? EVO. Saw that being played on ESPN.
Yeah.
But also, in terms of it being an Olympic sport for Olympic athletes.
So, yeah. I mean, I think it's good that they're having talks. I think that's how you discuss, like, learning, sitting down with players, sitting down with teams, like, the companies that run these events. Like, I think that's going to be beneficial for them to, like they said, get an idea about what the process is. Why the people who believe it's legitimate think it's legitimate, and like get that across to the IOC. That's important. I'm glad that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
But
that being said,
just a reminder, chess is not an Olympic sport currently.
Right.
So I think that the leap that you would have to make here to bypass games into video games, I don't know. I don't know if that's a comfortable leap I'm ready to make. I understand that, yes, a lot of work does go into esports. I get that.
Soccer is a game, and that's an Olympic event.
But if you can...
Softball is a game, and that was an Olympic event.
I mean, it all boils down ultimately to what you regard as athletic prowess.
Right.
Do you regard athletic prowess as the mind games? Do you, like what's the important thing about soccer? Is it the strategy of soccer? Is it the plays being made? Or is it the athleticism, the people moving, the people doing the acts, the feats, the impressive things on the field?
Have you seen a StarCraft 2 player and how they move on the keyboard?
Okay, that's fair. And good. And again, this is why they're having these talks.
Right.
Because that's the problem they need to solve.
Right.
The problem they need to solve is whether those two things are, whether the kind of skills that are applied in esports is applicable to what we believe athleticism truly is in an Olympic sense.
And not only that, but even if they get past that, then they have to decide what game should be considered Olympic
That's
sports.
the other problem. Esports isn't just a sport. Esports is several things. They would have to then determine what esports matter.
Right.
What esport do we, like, what is the esport? There isn't one.
Or do you have to be just good at all esports?
Right, is it like a decathlon kind of thing? Are we doing 10 games in a row? Do they have to be good at StarCraft, Dota, and Overwatch? Is that where we're going?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, it's
That's shooter strategy and
I mean,
rhythm?
That's actually, me just kind of spitballing there actually came up with a pretty good 3 games. But that being said, though, you're not necessarily going to have somebody who's
shooter,
good at all
strategy,
those.
rhythm, and speed.
Sure.
Just speed runs.
Yeah. Speed runs.
Yeah.
Let's do that. No, so there's a lot of tricky things to figure out,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I think we're probably further out than even a year. I think that if esports are going to be an Olympic sport, it's going to take, I would say, 5+ years.
Then that would, if what you're saying is 5+ years, that would put it at the 2028 game program.
LA. Maybe. And that's a big maybe even for me. Like, I for some reason,
Matt,
even though it's gathering legitimacy here in the U.S. and internationally in smaller circuits,
Matt,
I don't see it gathering that much legitimacy that fast.
when they, at the end of the Rio Games, when they were handing the torch
I know. Mario showed up.
to Japan, who showed up?
Here's the difference. Here's the difference between...
Who showed up?
Mario
Okay.
is a cultural icon that is identified beyond just video games. That is very different. That is Japan saying, this is something that we as a culture created that we are proud of, that is representative of us as a culture. And that's why we're showing it on this world stage. That is very, very different from this is a sport that we believe should be competed in. Those are two very different things. Mario is not just a video game character. He is a video game character, but he's not just a video game character. He is literally Japanese culture at this point. That's the difference.
Yeah.
So yes.
You knew where I was going with that.
Where you're going. But no, not in this case.
It's still be interesting to see if
Everybody
it happens.
knows that the true esport is Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. So, this has already been decided. They're going to play Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games at the Olympic Games. Game over. Done. All right.
No Smash Brothers tournament?
No Smash Brothers.
No wheelie ass big CRTVs?
No, they'll do Smash Brothers, but no items, Fox only, Final Destination. Alright, let's move on. It's the truest Olympic sport.
No, it's 4 Kirby's, come on.
No. Fox only, no items, Final Destination.
Alright, that brings us to our last topic here. Real briefly, for those of you who still own an Xbox One and have a Spotify account,
A large portion of the world, probably.
they have now married the two, and you can, just like the PS4 has for a while now, play music while you're playing your games.
It's pretty cool. I'm glad the Xbox has it now. I'm especially glad because I just jumped back into Sunset Overdrive, and it'll be freaking awesome to play Sunset Overdrive with my Spotify playlists. So I'm on board. But yeah, it sounds like the app, which is live now, so go download it, will work just like the PS4 one. So it will have background play. One of the things that sucked about the Groove Music app is that you needed to have it snapped.
Right. That's what I have here. Is that, does this
originally.
mean the end of Groove Music?
Well, so yes and no. I think they're gonna stick. It's gonna stick around. Sony killed their proprietary thing.
Sony SOE.
Yeah, but but I don't think that it was making them much money anyways.
Right.
I think Groove will probably stick around for the Windows 10 audience.
Okay.
But I don't see it sticking around on Xbox. Maybe they just needed a Xbox solution and no one was using Groove on the Xbox.
Maybe.
Regardless, it's good news for everybody because Spotify is the most popular streaming music service, so there's bound to be Xbox One owners who will be happy by this.
Yep.
So cool. Cool.
And that brings us to
Speaking
the
of music,
Billboard.
Speaking of
music.
Spotify, that brings us to music.
Yep.
I did not launch this because I was talking about stuff this time.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Also, with this Spotify app,
yeah,
you don't need Spotify Premium to play the music.
Right, you can.
You'll still get ads though.
Yeah, you can use it. The ad version. You don't even need to be gold to use it. So there's that. But yeah, we recommend Spotify Premium. It's good.
It's a good investment for all the music that you have.
Okay, moving on to music.
Billboard!
We have our Billboard Hot 100. Hot 100 is, of course, the singles chart. And man, number one song is still Despacito. That's Luis Fonsi, Daddy Yankee, featuring Justin Bieber. Still, another week at number one. Number two, Wild Thoughts, DJ Khaled, featuring Rihanna and Bryson Tiller. Debuting at number 3 this week, Unforgettable by French Montana featuring Sway Lee. Number 4, That's What I Like by Bruno Mars. And number 5, Believer by Imagine Dragons.
Hey, imagine those dragons.
I can't, but you can. Billboard 200 album chart is loading, but I know your number 1 album this
week. Should be 4x4 by 4?
No.
Oh, no.
Debuting at number 1 this week is none other than Everything Now by Arcade Fire.
Really?
Yes.
Even though it was critically panned?
Doesn't matter. People bought it and they're streaming it.
And you're not loading it.
And it's not loading it.
You sure? You sure?
I hate the freaking Billboard website. Anyways, yeah. Yeah, that's your number 1 album this week. I know that much. As I struggle. Here, this should load it. Okay, here we go. Yes, Everything Now by Arcade Fire is number 1, debuting this week. Number 2, Damn, Kendrick Lamar, moving back up the charts. Number 3, Wins and Losses by Meek Mill, 2nd week in the chart. Number 4, Grateful by DJ Khaled, and rounding up your top 5, 444 by Jay-Z.
Where's Moana at? Is it still up there?
Weekly Moana watch.
I know, it came back.
Scroll.
If it,
Number 14, moving up a little further.
hey, still in the 20.
So yeah, good for Arcade Fire, I guess, nabbing that number 1 spot. I want to say that's their second number 1 record. I believe Reflector also hit number 1 back in 2013.
Okay.
So that's your Billboard for the week. What do we have in music news?
Music news. Eminem.
M&M's. I love crispy M&M's. Let's talk about crispy M&M's.
No, they got that new one.
Caramel?
Yeah,
I haven't tried the
caramel.
caramel M&M's. That sounds pretty good. I like a caramel chocolate.
I like David Cross's voice, though.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's funny.
I don't know. It's funny to me.
Yeah.
It's just a straight up cube of car. Anyways, let's talk about Eminem the rapper.
Yes. Eminem, the rappers, are come in different colors. But they're still
Not
chocolatey on the
Eminem the rapper.
inside.
He comes in one color and he's white.
Yeah, but he's still chocolatey on the inside.
No, let's not go there. Okay.
Eminem is reportedly set to release his 9th studio album
Gross.
later this year.
What? Did you listen to Marshall Mathers LP2? The thing sucked.
Well, that was his last album,
Yeah.
which was released in 2013. Nope. Last thing I listened to was, I think, Recovery.
Well, you saved yourself some pain. Let's just put it that way.
Okay. Probably.
Thing's bad.
Yep. Last year he dropped Campaign Speech, which was an anti-Trump freestyle
Right.
released during the U.S. elections. In addition to this, Eminem is also set to produce a new comedy movie called Bodied, which follows the story of a university student that writes a controversial thesis
Okay.
on the rap battle scene.
All right. Sure.
Because of course it does.
Because of course it is.
Has to do something with rap, right?
Yeah, it's called Mom Spaghetti.
No, it's called Bodied.
No, I mean it's
The
thesis.
thesis,
Sure.
yeah. He will also headline Reading and Leeds Festival at the end of August, where
Sure.
he should debut some new material.
Oh yeah, and probably give a release date for that record.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess Eminem,
Eminem coming around.
AKA the best-selling artist of the 2000s. Just a reminder, that man sold more records in the 10 years of the 2000s than any literal other person.
Rightly so.
Eh.
Moving on to this person.
Okay, you're gonna have to tell me who that is.
That is none other than Irish singer, songwriter, Sinead O'Connor.
Oh, Sinead O'Connor. Yeah, she's not doing too hot.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she posted a video to her Facebook page on Thursday detailing her recent struggles with mental illness from a motel in what she described as, quote, the arse end of the Jersey.
Yeah.
She
It's
is,
a really bad Irish accent.
it was, wasn't it? Almost as bad as her health.
Oh, no. Come on.
She is currently staying at the Travelodge Motel in Hackensack while undergoing psychiatric treatment for 3 mental illnesses. In her 12-minute video, she laments the fact that she is alone and has been abandoned by her family. O'Connor has been suffering from bipolar disorder and has threatened suicide before, and also discusses the separation from her youngest 2 children, Shane and Yeshua. She also says that due to her mental illness, no one validates her feelings and treats her unfairly.
Well, that's rough. But it seems like she is getting help and she's seeking it. So, I mean, yeah, hopefully they're able to work with her and hopefully she gets better. Because, yeah, that's lousy.
Yeah. Hopefully she gets better. I mean, she should be in the right place. I mean, she is seeking help at least, which is good.
Yeah, again, yeah.
Yeah.
That's important. Moving on.
Moving on.
What do we got?
That's the boss.
Oh, Mr. Springsteen.
Mr. Springsteen is indeed him.
Yes. not his fault.
Yes. Mr. Springsteen, or Bruce, as you will.
Yeah. If you're nasty.
Mr. Boss.
As Mr. Boss.
Will make his Broadway debut.
Okay.
With an 8-week solo show at the, get this, 960 seat.
Wow.
Walter Kerr Theater.
Okay.
Less than 1,000 people.
Sure.
Crammed in a room.
It's intimate.
With Bruce Springsteen. And he, that is actually on purpose. As the show, as he put it, will loosely follow the arc of his life and his work, with a mix of spoken word and music.
Oh, cool.
Quote, "My show is just me, the guitar, the piano, and the words and music. I wanted to do some shows that were as personal and as intimate as possible." Being dubbed Springsteen on Broadway, will officially open on October 12th, with a preview starting October 3rd. And 5 nights a week he'll perform through November 26th. Tickets will go on sale August 30th at 10 a.m. exclusively through Ticketmaster.
Oh, okay. All right. This is where it gets dark.
Oh, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. Ticketmaster Verified Fan,
Okay.
which is their own technology used to bypass bots that typically scoop up seats to highly anticipated shows.
Got it.
So before you can even, so I actually looked up what that thing was.
Yeah.
Verified Fan, and what it is that you have to register your email
Uh-huh.
to Ticketmaster
Ahead of time.
again and ahead of time,
Yeah.
saying that you're a verified fan and you're going to purchase these tickets at this date.
Okay, that's probably smart that they have
And
that.
they limit the number of tickets per fan.
Okay. Yeah, that's tricky because as much as I am glad that Ticketmaster is doing work to get the scalpers,
Yeah, cure the bots.
they still kind of suck as a company.
Oh, yeah.
I wish they didn't have the fees that they do. But hey, what you gonna do?
Yep.
I guess you can. You can't fight all fires at once.
No, but you definitely put some out.
Yep, one at a time. But yeah, that sounds like a cool show for Springsteen fans, and there are a lot of Springsteen fans.
Oh yeah.
The man is beloved.
I mean, the guy did do a 4-hour show
Yeah,
plus show in New York last year.
yeah, that man. He's a hardworking dude.
You could say that he's the boss.
You could say that. He is the boss. Yes.
All right, and that brings us to our last story of the day.
Okay.
A rather not so pleasant one.
Sure.
As Nathaniel Glover, man right there,
Sure.
a.k.a. Kid Creole, no longer a kid at 57,
Yeah.
founding member of Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, was charged on Wednesday in the stabbing death of a homeless man in New York City.
Yeah.
He was arrested Tuesday after reportedly getting into an argument and then repeatedly stabbed the man in the torso. They spotted Glover on surveillance cameras near the scene and charged him with second-degree murder. While he is currently charged, the sentencing won't be done for another week. He could get up the offense of second degree carries with it a life sentence, a maximum life sentence.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's pretty brutal. I mean,
Yeah.
not the sentence, what he did,
Oh yeah,
but also the sentence.
Also
But
the
still. Yikes.
yeah. Yeah, that's a downer of a note. But let's end on a high note. Did any reviews? Any thoughts?
No. No music this week.
I thought you were listening to Arcade Fire.
That was last week. I already talked about it.
Oh yeah.
You're really behind.
Oh yeah.
You know, this was a pretty slow week. When I was doing new releases, I realized how slow of a week this week was.
Mhm.
There's like nothing came out this week. I mean, besides, of course, Dark Tower. But like, Dark Tower is the highlight. Like,
If you want to call that a highlight.
we didn't talk about it in TV, but Thursday is the NBC special weekend update. Not on the weekend.
Oh, does that start Thursday?
Thursday night. So that's tomorrow.
Okay.
That will be on NBC, I believe, at 8? Actually, don't know when they're airing that. But yeah, so tune into that, I guess. But really, there's a super slow week. So we'll just have to wait and see if next week has more exciting things. I do want to note in music, we did not talk about new releases.
We did not.
Did you not gather them?
Oh no, I gathered them.
Then we can do that to
All
wrap
right.
up the podcast. Why not? Let's talk about this week in music.
New releases. We have David Rawlings, with Poor David's Almanac.
Okay.
We have Downtown Boys with Cost of Living.
Yes, that's. I already have heard this. It's streaming on NPR ahead of release, and it's probably one of the best albums of the year. I'm gonna say it right here. That is freaking good.
All right, we have Frankie Rose with Gage Tropical. Kesha has a new album dropping, Rainbow. We have One Authorx with One Authorx Point Never.
Yeah, I've never known really how to pronounce that. I've heard of them, but I don't know how to pronounce the name.
With The Good Time. We have Paul Kelly with Life is Fine. So Much Light with Oh, Yuck. And The Cribs with 24/7 Rockstar Shit.
Yeah, 24/7 Rockstar. Okay, in reality, so yes,
Downtown Boys?
I'll be listening more of that Downtown Boys record. I will listen to the Kesha record.
Yeah, I'll probably listen to that Kesha record too.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah,
about Rainbow.
Just considering what's happened to her the past year.
Gee, yeah. This is if this is her time to come back. This is. I'm really interested in what it sounds like.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, I guess that's now we can wrap up.
Yep. Now we can wrap up Media Podcast.
So if you like us, and I mean, who wouldn't really?
We're very likable people.
We're likable. If you like this podcast, if you want to see more of it, hear more of it, guess what? You can help us out. Patreon.com/MediaBoat. Go there, or go to the very, very bottom of our website, MediaBoatPodcast.com. You can donate as little as $1 a month, and that will help us make even more content and improve the content we already make. So if you want to see, for example, even better version of this podcast, toss in $1 or more. We won't frown upon more either. $1 a month will also give you exclusive content just for people who donate, so that's pretty cool too. You can see all our news stories, features, and this podcast itself on MediaBoatPodcast.com, along with exclusive thoughts about things we don't have time to cover on the show, including Mike's thoughts about Last Chance U, which also went up on our website this week. So, that's MediaBoatPodcast.com. You can follow us on social media as well. We're all over the Twitter, at MediaBoatCast. We're all over Facebook, MediaBoat Podcast there. You can comment on us there as well. You can find the audio version of our podcast on iTunes. Just search MediaBoat Podcast. And you can find us on twitch.tv/MediaBoat Podcast, I think, or just MediaBoat, if you want to see us stream the occasional video game or two. And, of course, YouTube, where you can find us, MediaBoat Podcast, streaming this very live show every Wednesday night around 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific time, or for whatever else random stream we would do in the future. So, that will do it. Tune in next week on Wednesday night for another episode of the MediaBoat Podcast.
Yep, that wraps us up.
So that wraps up. We'll see you guys next week.
Yep, bye.
Boy.
YouTube After Show!
YouTube After Show, bye.
Bye. There's no one watching.
There's no one watching. Bye.
Actually,
we'll find out in just a second. We could be pleasantly surprised.
Well, I'm always pleasantly surprised.
I love being pleasantly surprised.
Isn't it nice to be pleasantly surprised?
It is. It's always nice.
Yeah, nothing.
That's okay. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back.
All right, bye.